I was just so taken aback, and I was like, man, can I have peace from this?
No, you can't escape.
Yeah, and then I wrote avoid the news, and apparently the news I was avoiding was my French 2 textbook. So.
Hi, this is Once to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and today I'm joined by Hana Eid.
Hi.
That's how you say your last name, right?
Yeah.
In my head for years now, I've gone Eid.
Everyone, yeah, I mean, I don't know, the spelling is it's like a little shaky.
No, you can own it.
I always
You're like,
hey,
and I'm
thanks.
ashamed of that.
No. I always tell people it's like weed without the W.
Oh, that's perfect.
Like, Eid.
Oh, yeah. Without the W.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why in my head, do you know the word, it's like OUID and it's pronounced weed? Yeah.
Oh,
the crowd.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I pictured too, but we'll move right on past that.
It's like Ouija board, but without the board. Without the word board.
Without most of the sounds in that.
Yeah, it's just like the first 3 letters of Ouija board.
It's just you figure it out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Well, I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me.
You walked into my coffee shop that I also work at yesterday in the weirdest turn of events.
It was so awesome also because it's like my first time in LA and I know like 3 people here and I was like cuz I was just like there's no way I'm going to run into anyone I know cuz I don't know anyone, and then I was just like, oh, this is awesome.
This is LA.
I was like, this is great. I was like, I did run into someone. Huge for me.
You had your moment.
Yeah,
now you'll never have anonymity again. That is LA.
That's like Nashville too.
Is it?
Yeah, like tenfold though, probably.
How long have you been there?
I've been there for a little over 2 years.
Okay.
And yeah, it's very like, I mean, the short way to describe it, I feel like, at least for me, and especially like being in music, it's very small town. Like everyone, when you know like one indie musician, you know like every indie musician that lives in Nashville, which is really sweet in some ways, but there's like no Jesus,
no, you got it. You killed that.
Thank you. I've been practicing in the mirror all morning.
Right. No, I haven't been out to Nashville yet. And
really?
Yeah, and I don't really know why.
That surprises me.
Yeah, I thought about going to Belmont. That was one of the colleges.
Cool.
Did you go to Belmont?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it was Belmont or Berkeley, and I ended up at Berkeley and then never visited Nashville, and I feel like I'm missing something.
Oh, you need to come visit. It's fun. It's like, it's a fun place to be in, and everyone's very like, that is like the one nice thing, well, not the one nice thing about the South, that is one of the nice things about the South, is that everyone's very like homey and generally really welcoming, which is cool.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
It is what the movies say.
Yeah. I suppose that's true.
I've never been to the South, so I know nothing. Yes.
Where are you from? Are you from here?
I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, right.
Where are you from?
I'm from DC.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Us East Coast kids, we got to stick together.
Yeah. Yes. We just find each other wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what led you to Belmont then?
I knew I wanted to study music in college, and I applied to like some state schools. I actually applied to a lot of schools I grew up like playing guitar, so I applied to a lot of schools for like jazz ensemble and classical, which was like kind of random for me. But yeah, most of my like background is in guitar, and then I applied to some like private universities, and it just happened like with the way everything like panned out with Eid and all that stuff that Belmont ended up making the most sense.
Totally.
And it wasn't even very high up on my list at first, but then I went and visited. I also like was in college during the COVID year, was like when I was applying, and so like there weren't really college tours, but I went with my family and visited, and I just really, really liked it. And yeah, so then I went for 2 years and then I dropped out.
Yeah, the true musician's life.
I know. A girl had to do what a girl had to do.
Exactly. So you were applying in 2020?
I was applying in into 2021. I graduated high school in 2021.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I went to college and immediately the pandemic happened. So I don't know which is worse. I feel like it would kind of suck to be like stuck at home and then have to apply to colleges and literally not see them.
Yeah, but also having your freshman year, was it your freshman year of college that was COVID?
Yeah.
I feel like having it tainted by like just not being able to socialize would have been so hard, because that was like the most fun part, I feel like, of moving away from home, was like getting to go out and meet people and stuff like that.
Right. I had a good like 4 months of that, and then I never saw anyone again.
No.
But now I live here, and I run into everyone ever at the Trader
you
Joe's.
can't be anonymous, right? And Trader Joe's.
It's true. It's true. But I do need to get down to Nashville. I thought very strongly about moving there after college. I actually said I would never move to LA, which is what we're trying to get you to do now.
Which I also said I would never move to LA. But
And where are we in that?
I feel heavily persuaded. I just
Yeah.
I love the beach. I love the warm weather.
Yeah.
I want to, like, while I'm in my early 20s, I feel really inclined to like live in a city where I can meet new people and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, where it's just like it's just a bit more saturated. And like Nashville, there is a ton of people, but I feel like the little like kind of the music that I make and like that whole scene is pretty like centralized. And I don't know, I just feel like I want to live in a place where I can just like be a little more like random.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. I mean, Boston is so much smaller, but when I was there, I felt like I kind of got to know everyone within a year. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, now I feel a little suffocated.
That is the feeling, definitely, is like just feeling a little suffocated. And I know
Yeah.
at Berkeley, the music scene is pretty much all just like, or in Boston, the music scene is pretty much all just like run by Berkeley.
Yes, it is. It's like Berkeley and then a couple of little underground indie kids from like
Okay.
BU or whatever. But which is nice because like you said, it's like a small town. It's like everyone's friends. It's very collaborative.
Yeah.
And here it's a little bit more like friends are gate kept in a way. Not to scare you away from LA.
Worst sales pitch ever.
Yeah. Well, I've been here for like a year and a half. And in the first like 6 months, I felt like I made no friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think half of that was because I didn't leave the house very often. But the other half is like you would meet people and they'd be like, here's my Instagram, and you'd never see them again.
Right.
But once you find your people, it's very much the same as any like small town music scene. It's like, I don't know, it's collaborative. There's backyard shows and yeah.
That's
you run into
sweet.
people at the grocery store.
That's sweet. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
What
I'm
else?
happy I'm here too.
Good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
What's on your agenda for the trip?
Well, I have like a couple of sessions. I have a show on Saturday, actually a backyard show on
Yes.
Saturday. But it's like my first time visiting, so mostly just kind of hanging out and like exploring a little bit. We did like the PCH drive, which
Yes.
was so fun, and I like never want to leave.
Don't.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it's just been a lot of exploring. It's been
Yeah.
really just awesome and fun. And actually, it's snowing in Nashville right now, and it started snowing like the day that I left, and we never get snow. And it's so funny. I'm like, it's somewhere that's so warm. I'm in Southern California, and then like back where
Yeah.
I live, it's like,
You're
it's
going to
like
go back
snowing.
to frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I'm
you-
just like hoping my roommates remembered to drip the faucets.
Okay. See, I would not know to do that. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, so fair.
Beautiful. Love it. I think we're going to the show on Saturday. So
Oh, yay.
we're stoked.
Yay. I'm stoked to see you guys there. It'll be so fun.
Yay. I love it. Well, this is Chef's Choice. So we're going to go through your little 3-course meal of tunes.
Okay. Yum.
And I want yum. I want to know if someone had never heard your music before, what's the first song you'd serve up? What's the first bite of Hana Eid?
I think if someone had never heard my music before, I would want them to listen to Weird, which is the first single I released off of my upcoming EP.
Yes.
And I don't know, I just feel like it's pretty indicative of like where my project is moving. Lyrically, it feels like a bit more advanced than some of my earlier stuff, and I really like how it sounds production-wise. I felt really good like recording it.
Sleep on your mattress. Is that weird to say? And I wanna talk about this to someone who isn't you.
And I think it's like fun.
It is so fun. I love that song. I think it was
Thank
like
you.
honestly like 8 or something on my Spotify top 100 of this year.
That's
I
awesome.
rapped.
That's so awesome. Thank
Well,
you.
I found it when I was like in a big crush phase of my life, and I sent it to said crush, which is no longer. And
that's badass though.
they didn't get it though. They were like, "Why are you sending me this? Like, I don't know how this relates to me."
Ooh.
I was like, "We're not meant to be, not meant to be."
Yeah, that's not the one. Get him out of there.
Right. Well, tell me about the song. How did it come about?
I wrote it when I was kind of in this weird stage of like developing feelings for someone, but it was like, it didn't feel very like, I don't know, like black and white. Like I didn't really know like how I felt. I just felt strange about it. And I was like very like almost introspective, where I was like, I want to understand what I'm feeling right now. And I want to, understand like how to respond to it, but I like just didn't. It felt very like unfamiliar to me.
Right.
For some reason, it was just like, I don't know. It was just weird.
It was, one might call it weird.
And here's the full circle moment. It was weird.
No, I've never really heard that described before. It's now I'm gonna use the word weird and like I'm trying to find synonyms of it.
Me too. Abnormal.
Strange, yes. But like when you're younger, I feel like crushes all kind of feel the same. Like you have the little butterflies and then they fade away after like 3 weeks. But when you get older, you have weird, fuck me, Jesus Christ. You have interesting connections with people that they're just very different. I don't know. I feel like I've grown up so much. I'm 22. but I don't know. It's like I'm an adult and I'm living on my own, and I have this odd sense of like kinship with people that is so different from when you're like in high school. Nothing matters. And weird really captured that for me. I don't know.
Well,
like
thanks.
an adult relationship crush.
Yeah, it definitely, I agree with what you're saying. I think definitely like as you become older, there's just so much more that like factors into it. Like it just feels a bit more nuanced, almost like where I don't know, everything becomes a bit more complex and like.
Right. Like you don't even really know yourself. So you're like, how am I supposed to figure out how I'm feeling about you?
Yeah, exactly. Much less like how to respond to it or address it. Like it's just like, I don't even, I barely know how to respond to or address like kind of like anything. What you said, like anything like within me or like in my own life, much less like how I relate to someone else.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Did you address it?
No.
Right.
I wrote a song about it. Yeah.
And that's basically just as good.
Yeah, I know. I'm like addressing it kind of if I'm writing about it. Like,
I love though.
it's like the loophole.
Yeah, writing about people and being like, this will make it super clear to them how I'm feeling, and then they never get that it's about them.
Yeah, I like also especially in high school, I had a very bad habit of like writing a song about someone and then like sending it to them and then being like, what do you think of this?
Oh, I do
it's
that
like,
too.
It's like the same it's like the same vibe of like I don't know, when you're like talking to your crush and you're like, guess who I have a crush on?
Right.
It like feels like that.
It's someone you know very well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, guess.
That's awful, and I'm the same. And I hate us.
I'm glad we're on the same page about this.
Yeah, that's really bad. Did you produce the song yourself?
No, I didn't. I worked with a producer based out of Nashville his producer tag is Tone Deaf.
Love.
And yeah, I did this whole project with him. It was like my first time working with him, and he's super cool and like very experienced, and recording was just like, not only was it very like streamlined, like incredibly like efficient, but it was also just really fun. It was very good at kind of finding the balance between having fun and like leaving room to kind of create and come up with things on the spot, and also like getting shit done.
Right.
Which was awesome.
So do you usually write songs before the sessions and then like come in with a sort of, okay.
Yeah.
And do you like have any like writing collaboration with the producer or?
No, not with the producer so much. Yeah. I usually come in with like a full song written out.
Dope. What does the writing process usually look like?
For me, it's I always kind of describe myself as a bit of a compulsive writer, where I just like am hit with like this really like intense gut urge, and it's been this way since I was like a child. Like I feel like this really intense need to write something, and I just start writing and I just like have to do it, even if it's bad and I have nothing to write about. It's just like kind of this feeling I get, and usually what that looks like is I like grab my guitar and I like mess around a little bit, and sometimes nothing comes out of it, but I'll like start playing something on guitar and then kind of like la 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 over it until,
just like that
until something happens or something doesn't happen. But
yeah. I feel that. I'm curious about how guitar factors into the writing process, because you said you've been playing guitar like your whole life, right?
Yeah, I grew up playing electric guitar. That was like,
Dope.
I started playing when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And so I was like playing kind of my whole life. And I was always, before I started songwriting, maybe when I was like 10, 9 or 10-ish, I like was really focused on being an instrumentalist. Honestly, like later into high school too, when I was applying for colleges for like just guitar, I was also like really prioritizing like being an instrumentalist. And I think like the way it kind of impacts, I guess, the project, I feel like my artist project is, I guess like I just really care about sort of like the authenticity of the music. Like I really am preferential to using like real instruments. I'm preferential to tracking my own guitars.
Sick, yeah.
And like in the way I write, I try my best to like find new ways to kind of like introduce some of the elements of like my electric guitar playing, whether it's like adding little riffs to things or like writing in weird tunings and just trying to figure it out. I like try to still stimulate that part of kind of my musicianship in the way I write.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. I'm also kind of curious, like, does it hold you back ever how much you know about the instrument when you're writing?
Not so much, because I have like, I mean, when I was in earlier high school, it did a bit because I only wrote in standard. And then once I started, I like found out about ultra tunings my senior year of high school. And then being able to just like tune things in a different way, it's like, it was like relearning the instrument. Like I didn't know any chord shapes. I like never looked up how to play chord shapes on like in any different tuning. I just kind of like messed around until I found something, and that has always been kind of fun for me. And then if I like got bored of whatever tuning I was obsessed with that week, I would just like write in something else.
Right.
Which is fun.
No, that's cool. It's interesting because some songwriters, I feel like, prefer to like not know all of the technical stuff, because then you can just sort of be creative and like fuck around a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. But oh my God, what is the song? I think it's Pitbull, where you just go up this like chromatic sort of situation and it fucking never ends till like the end of the thought. That stopped me in my tracks the first time I heard it. I really liked it.
I feel like a pit bull chained up outside, foaming at the mouth. 'Cause I said you could reach out, and you didn't.
Thank you. I do love a little chromatic moment.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, definitely the guitar part on that song is like one of my favorites on the project. It's super fun. There's also like, there's this little like cool slidey bit at the outro that I do that I like, that I really, really love, that actually my friend Eden wrote, but we like started kind of working on that song, and then we were in a session and got like basically nothing done, but then I like took like the that like little sidey bit at the end, and then I like wrote a whole song around it. But
that's so
which is
cool
so
though.
fun.
I love just choosing the most random like thing that should not spark anything at all. Like it means nothing and then it becomes everything.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
It's so fun.
Okay, well then what would be the song that represents this new era for you?
I think it would be my song, Austin Song, which is currently unreleased, but maybe
It'll be out soon.
It'll be out soon.
You wanna go where you're not dying, and I think you're lying to yourself. There's a polar away from back in summer.
But it's the last song on the EP. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever written. It just feels, I don't know, kind of definitely a bit more indicative of my lyricism moving forward. Like the lyrics feel a bit more intentional and thoughtful, which has always been something I've kind of grappled with in like my artistry. Is like I've always really cared about like the words that I'm saying and how I'm saying them, and I want them to feel very like, I don't know, just strong and like almost like gut punch-y.
Yeah.
And I feel like that song does that really effectively. And I also think like the instrumentation on it, it's like the only song on the project that has acoustic guitar also. And I think like definitely some of the more acoustic elements I'd like to kind of carry into the next project I do and like more of the stuff I write. Like I've been big into a bunch of folk music recently, and I've been like loving banjo and pedal steel and
and
kind of combining that with like the more rock elements. So
yeah, I mean, on that note, what were you listening to when you made the project?
The band Wednesday put out their
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't even.
I love Wednesday.
Rat Saw God changed my life.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Is like I literally, that album, the drive to my producer's house was like 30-45 minutes, and I would listen to that album like front to back on the way to every single session. I think it's like I think it might be my favorite album of this year, and like one of my favorite albums of all time now. Like it's just, I think it's so brilliant, and I think they do a really phenomenal job at combining like these really heavy elements of rock music and also like the twanginess of like more folk music, especially MJ Lenderman, like his solo project. I think does that so well, and it just feels so, it has like the drive of like traditional rock music, but it just feels so like, I don't know.
It's like refined, messy, like
yeah,
it's rock, but it's not super like, I don't know, cut and dry rock.
Yeah, entirely agree.
It's a little gory. I like it.
Yeah, it's just so fun and so cool, and it feels so like honest because again, like you said, it's not so cut and dry, but I was super inspired by that whole album when I was recording.
Yeah, we've got to have you scream on a song now.
I know.
We did a like 12 days of ones to watch, which was like our top 12 picks from 2024, and Rat Saw God was one of mine. And I just gushed about the screaming on Bull Believer.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the song that got me into Wednesday was Bull Believer, and I just remember like hearing that outro and just being like, I get it. Like I
cried.
Yeah, yeah, literally, yeah.
Damn. Oh, wait. I love like knowing what inspired something and then getting to listen to the project. So I'm super excited to listen to the rest of that.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, it's I love Wednesday so much. I just think they're so cool. And Bull Believer, I mean, what a song.
It is like the new what the fuck is that song? Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's a crazy comparison, but I get it.
You know, I have like Bohemian Rhapsody and Paranoid Android by Radiohead are like the same for me.
Oh, interesting.
Do you know that song?
Yes, I do know that song.
It's like the Odyssey sort of song where there's like so many different acts throughout it. I don't know. I think it's like a phenomenon every artist has to do at some point.
Yes, that makes sense to me.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't think I've ever explained that concept out loud to someone. So thank you for getting it.
Yeah, of course. That entirely makes sense.
Love. But going back to what you were saying about the lyrics of this song, it's Austin's song.
Yeah.
Austin apostrophe S song or just Austin?
Austin, yeah. Austin as in Texas.
Okay.
Austin
song.
Yeah.
Love it. Beautiful. I'm getting the picture. But it's funny that you say that about your lyrics, that you've like grappled with being intentional, because I like was drawn to your music by your lyrics in the first place.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're kind of like laid out in the way that someone would tell me something to like make me believe it. Not like in, I don't know. It's super intentional in that way. I feel like someone's yelling at me a little bit when they're telling me a story in the best way possible.
Okay. Awesome.
I hope you know what I mean by that.
Yes, I think I do.
I don't know. I think I write music as well. And sometimes my roommate will yell at me when I show him a song because he's like, I have no fucking clue what this means because you've been so vague about this because you're trying to be so artsy and poetic. And you have those like artsy poetic moments, but then they're like laced into a conversational sort of tone. And it's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I suppose it's also a bit harder for me to like view, as I'm sure you understand, like with your songwriting and stuff, it's harder to look at your work like more objectively. Cause I you know what I mean? Like I know what the song's about. And like, for me, I'm like, is this right? Or is this like doing what it needs to do?
Like, are you getting it or do I just know it because I wrote it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thank you for saying that. I mean, I've always tried to be intentional about it. But I feel like this whole project and like the stuff I've been writing more recently, and Austin song especially, feel like especially like where like I feel it too, and I'm like, this is
that's such a great moment where it like clicks for you.
Yeah, it is it's refreshing. It's like hard to, I feel like when it's like, I mean, everyone says like you're your own worst critic. It's hard to like really feel the moments in which your art is like like this living, breathing thing and like really be like cognizant of it. But yeah, Austin's song I feel that way the most about on the project, which is fun. I also did write it the most recently though. So
Okay,
that's,
I was
like,
gonna ask.
That's part of it for sure.
Yes, I feel like the longer you spend with the song, the more you kind of grow to be an enemy of
Yeah.
it in good and bad ways. Because you get
Agreed.
to like critique it and edit and all that fun stuff, but then you're also like, I hate my voice and I don't want to hear you.
Yeah. It's like crazy. I used to get, especially in like earlier when I was recording some of my earlier stuff, like everything that predates Weird, basically, I recorded in like a dorm room my like freshman year of college, and we would take like so long to finish a song that by the time the song was done, I would like actually like it was intolerable. Like I could not listen to it. But fortunately, like with recording this EP, I can like still listen to the songs because like we recorded them so quickly, and like I don't listen to them like a ton. So when I like do go back, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like I'm glad I made this.
No, that's so great. Did you write the songs meaning for them to be an EP, or is it kind of like your favorites that ended up together?
It was kind of my favorites. Fortunately, like the space that I've been at in my life has all been like characterized by similar feelings and like similar relationships, and so like it like conceptually they all worked together, but it just kind of happened to be that way. Like I wasn't like writing for a concept or for the project, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
What would you say then are like the overarching feelings of it? Not to make you like choose 3 words to describe your music.
No, I have one word. I've been practicing it, and it's yearning. Everything in the EP is about yearning.
No, because
and I always
I'm
say
so
that.
yearning right now.
Yeah, it's real as fuck. It's also just like being in your early 20s, I feel like is just, it's like so characterized by just like this feeling of like wanting more, or like feeling you're on like the precipice of something and like just about to like kind of cross over.
Oh, thank you for that. No, genuinely, because I don't know, I thought like I had it figured out like a good couple of months ago, and then something fucking shifted inside of me. And now I'm like grieving something that I don't know I've lost.
Yeah, exactly. It's so real though. It's so real.
It's brutal. It's so bad. I'm like, my parents are getting old. How am I supposed to cope with that?
I know. Yeah, it's just always, it's like this constant feeling of like something's missing and I don't know what, and also what the fuck is going on, and how do I shop for groceries? It's like everything.
How do I feed myself?
Yeah.
It's really bad and hard.
Yeah. It's so weird. And then when I was like 18, I was like, I have my shit together. Like I know everything. And it's like, but I don't know. Anyways, all that to say, I guess the project feels just very, like it all kind of comes together in the sense that every song is about some sort of like desire, or like some sort of like internal like turmoil thing.
I love that. The 2 most recent playlists I've made are called Another One About Gut-Wrenching Yearning, and
that's tasteful.
The one I made today was called Passively Twisting the Knife.
Wow, those are great playlist titles.
Thanks. It's kind of an obsession a little bit.
My playlist titles will all be like, it'll be like boop. Like, that's it.
Perfect. Even better.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
But I'm like, I will be putting each of your songs on both of those wherever they fit.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, so what's our cherry on top? What's the dessert off of, what have we dropped the EP title?
The EP title is I Exist Because You Say So.
Ouch.
Which, yeah, I don't know why I said that.
I'm sure you do. But
Actually, I don't know why I said that, because I found the EP title. I was like going through my like I couldn't think of a title for the project. I was going through like my old notes, like all the lyrics I had saved.
Yes.
And just that like one line was by itself like way deep, like a few scrolls back. And I was like, huh, like that's sort of fucked up, and I like it. It's like title.
No, it's great. It makes you think.
Yeah, it really does make so much sense with just like the idea of like yearning, and also like pouring so much into these like external relationships and putting so much like weight on how you relate to other people. And like, I don't know, I feel like I've always been very like thinking about that.
No, same. I've always done everything for everyone else, and now I'm like by myself, I'm like, well, what do I do
Yeah.
about that now?
Yeah, it's like how to relate to other people, and then I'm also like, how do I even relate to me? Like, do I know that guy? Me?
Yeah, so what's my personality?
Yeah.
Question mark.
No, exactly. I'm like, what are my interests? Like, I
Oh
don't
God,
know.
worst question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scary.
Never dating again. I don't want to tell you what my hobbies are.
Or like when someone asks me like what I do, so what do you do? I'm like,
And then they're like outside of music.
like I hang out, I chill.
I read occasionally.
Yeah, I crochet. I'm fun at parties. I'm like, like that's what I do.
This
That's
is my
it.
resume.
Yeah, literally.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna start applying to jobs with that.
I think you should.
I crochet and I'm fun at parties.
And that's all you need to know.
That is all you need to know. That sums it up right there.
Okay, so what is our dessert then?
The dessert's the. Can you remind me which one the dessert is?
The song that's coming out on Friday is called Avoid the News. Am I right?
Yes.
Memory.
Yes. That's the dessert is the one that. What is the like?
Oh!
premise of
You
the
wanted to
dessert?
know what the
Yes.
premise of the dessert was,
Yes.
not the one you chose for it,
Yes,
because
not
you
the
would
one I
know
chose
your
for
own
it.
song.
Yes.
You're welcome for reminding you. The dessert would be like the little extra, you know, like
Okay.
the cherry on top of it all.
Yes. Then I would say that's avoid
The little
news.
the glitter. at
I
the
wanted.
end.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure that I wanted it to be that one. Yes.
It can be
is Avoid the
whatever you'd
News.
like it to be.
I think it is Avoid the News, which is my song that comes out on Friday.
And I laugh 'cause I'm outliving this. Now I see your name in my books and my poetry. I can't escape anything that never wanted me.
Yes. Well, tell me about it. What are we avoiding in the news?
This song might have one of my like funniest stories on the project. It's like it's about basically like a friendship breakup I went through my sophomore year of college. But the reason I wrote the song was because I was in French class and I had just been going through like this friendship breakup. It was like a friend I talked to every single day. We were like super, we like went to school together. We'd hang out all the time.
Yeah.
And like really like jarringly our friendship ended, and I was like she ended the friendship with me, and I was really bummed out about it. And I'm like in French class and we're like going through the textbook and we're like doing like some sort of like spoken problem. And the problem, the character in this like word problem thing had the same name as her, and she has like a very like unique name, and it was like so random and like and weird for me, and I was just like I was just so taken aback, and I was like, man, I cannot, like, can I have peace from this?
No, you can't. You can't escape.
And then I wrote Avoid the News, and apparently the news I was avoiding was my French 2 textbook. So
That is not something I hear about in music very often. Like, we hear about romantic breakups, but the
Yeah.
friend breakups are often so much more tumultuous.
it feels so much more offensive too.
Yes,
Because my
especially.
expectation for continue.
No, I want to hear about your expectation.
I was just gonna say my expectation for like a friend, and especially a close friend, always feels a little bit higher, and that relationship also always feels a little more sacred, because it's like
Yes.
it feels more just, I don't know, especially between women. I don't know.
No, you're right. It's like, I feel like romantic relationships can always end, but I never think that friendships will end.
Yeah,
I'm like, I meet you and that's it. That's forever now. Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like, it's with romantic relationships, it does always feel like there's like some sort of timeline in some regard.
Yeah.
And with like friendships, I'm just kind of like, oh, like this is forever. And I just like, and so when it ends, and especially when it ends suddenly, it's like, it's just like a slap in the face.
Right. I'd almost prefer to like fade out of communication, even though
Right.
that also sucks.
Yeah, but it just like, it would be like a bit less like,
Yeah, we can still
Painful,
pass each
maybe.
other on the street and like wave, but then not talk.
yeah, right.
Which awful.
Yeah. That's painful in a whole other way.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear it.
Thank you.
Avoid the news on Friday.
Yeah, I'm excited to share it.
Yay.
It's also the only song on the project that's not in 4/4. It's in 6/8. I thought it was in 3/4. Well, first off, I thought it was in 4/4. I thought I wrote it like that. And then my producer was like, actually, it's not in 4/4. And then I thought it was in 3/4, but then he was like, actually, it's in 6/8.
I always had a problem with that in college, the 3/4 versus 6/8.
Yeah, I guess it's a feel thing.
It's a feel thing.
thing.
And I'm like, what if I feel it differently?
I'm like, what if I feel like it's 1, 2, 3? What if?
And they said 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So good.
Oh, all of the college musical nerds are gonna pop out for this one.
Gotta love it.
I've been avoiding them. My people.
Yeah, especially at Berkeley too. Man, I would have hated to have made my 3-4 mistake in front of the Berkeley kids. Or I feel like I would have gotten torn to shreds. Fortunately, in the Belmont songwriting program, there's like no music theory education. So like,
There isn't at all.
there is like one introductory class, but you can like, it's actually crazy. You can like effectively test out of it if you have like a really like basic knowledge of, it's like intro to music theory, and that's like the only songwriting major required class.
That's horrifying. Well, I have one final very important question for you.
Okay.
And it's pressing. It's crazy. Actually, I have a couple.
Okay.
I've been adding a few extra questions in.
I'm ready. I love it.
I want to know who your ones to watch are. Who should I be listening to that you've been listening to?
Oh man. Oh, should it be like can I say like just anyone?
Yeah.
Ever? I really love Feeble Little Horse right now. That's a band that I've been really, really stoked about. There's this artist also called Sluice, if I'm saying that right. It's Sluice. His project is like, it's just like so awesome and like tender and very cool. And I have been obsessed with him recently, and he's like pretty small. And then, oh man, one of my favorite Nashville artists of all time, except now he lives in New York, Noah Pope. I feel like the internet's been loving him recently, but he also makes some of like my favorite music ever.
I love this. I get all of my new music recs from this question on the podcast.
Yeah, I love it. I used to have like a whole playlist of just everyone in Nashville because there were like so many cool people, but I've been listening to stuff all over the place. Big Star too is like a band that's recently become one of my favorite bands ever, and like I've been listening to The Cure a ton.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I've been like my music has been very all over the place.
I love it.
But yeah, I love listening to like, I feel like the worst thing to say when someone's like, what are you listening to? Is like, I listen to everything, but like I actually do love listening to everything. Sometimes I'll just listen to like instrumental guitar for like a really long time and like zone out. Yeah. It's really weird.
No, I feel like I have my like main characters of my music taste, and then there's those weird moments where I bridge off into something. I'm in like a screamo like metal phase of life, and I'm kind of afraid for what it means.
Oh, like who have you been listening to?
Okay, so one of my regulars in the coffee shop who I met recently has an artist project called Freak, which I'm so fucking excited to go to his show and say, yeah, I'm going to the Freak show tonight.
Oh, that's good. That's so good.
It's so good. But his music is like, it's like emo meets Deftones sort of situation. And I just started running, and now that is like my running music.
That's so awesome.
It's so good. I'll have to send you one of them.
Yeah, please do.
I don't hear a lot of like modern metal type like new noise that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's very like melodic.
That's very cool.
Yeah. But fearful of what it means for my era of life.
Means you have awesome music days.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Do you listen to any like hyperpop at all?
I do a little bit, yeah.
I love listening to hyperpop to run.
Okay.
Love it. Or like if I want to like, if I'm like driving late at night and I'm a little bit sleepy, but I want to feel like it's like the energy drink of music. Like,
yes, it is.
I'm like,
do you know Frost Children?
No, I don't.
Oh, let me change your life real quick.
Yeah, please.
Okay, they released 2 albums last year. One of them's called Speed Run, which is hyper pop, like you've walked into a club in New York. Okay. That's what you're hearing.
I already love it.
It's insane. It is too much noise all of the time in the best way. And then they released a second one called Hearth Room, which is like early 2000s pop rock, and they're just so weird.
Okay.
And so good. Like the albums should not be by the same artist.
That's awesome. I love when artists put out like 2 projects that just sound like so like insanely different. Yes. It's like, it's, I don't know, or like when artists have like even like separate profiles where they post shit that's like so different. I think it's so
you've
fun.
been listening to both of them separately but didn't know they were the same person.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I feel like Surf Curse and like Current Joys are like a good example of that.
Is that the same people?
Yeah, it's like the same.
Wouldn't have known.
It's like the same dude, I think, unless I'm way mistaken, but I think it's the same dude.
Wow,
which is crazy.
I would love it if it weren't not the same dude and you just thought it was the same indie looking dude.
I'm going to keep telling people that, even if I
Good.
find out otherwise.
You should.
I've committed at this point.
Well, I have a couple of other stupid questions for you.
Oh, I'm sure they're not stupid.
I'm sure they are.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me.
If your music were a candle, what scent would it be?
Cedar.
Just plain cedar.
I think
Love it.
so.
I could agree.
I don't know why.
Cedar with a wood wick, though. You know?
Yes.
With the crackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
You're
the crackle.
And that's what I meant. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And I've been asking people lately what their favorite sound is outside of music.
Oh, I really like the sound of the ocean. I have a white noise machine and I listen to the ocean sound every night before bed.
So you just need to be here, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I want to set up a tent just on the side of the PCH and just be by the ocean all the time.
Yeah, word.
That makes no sense. I don't know.
No, we actually don't need an apartment. Here you
I'm
are.
just gonna have my 5 guitars just out.
Yes, that will end very well for you in your music career.
Yeah. Oh, that's no, that would be I don't know. I feel how some artists work out of vans. That's similar to that, except they're not moving anywhere.
We're in the era of people working out of garages too.
Right.
I would love to have a garage.
I would love to have a garage also.
I'm
just a garage.
Just a garage. No music in there.
Or no house. I'm I don't need that other stuff.
Yeah.
Just the garage.
I just want to be able to have a real piano. That's all I want in life.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like a garage.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Do you play piano?
I do.
Oh, very cool. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah.
I always wish I had I don't have the hands to play piano. I'm always
I don't know that I do either, but I started when I was really young, and now I am trying to play guitar, and I don't have the hands for guitar.
You definitely do.
Thank
you. Totally do. It's just there's a weird hill you have to climb with playing it. I feel like.
Yeah, I was doing well for a second, and then I found open E. And now I've been playing an open E for way too long, and I don't know how to get out.
Playing in open tunings are so fun though, because you can just you can actually just fuck around and find out.
Yes.
It's so, and it's and literally if you don't, if all else fails, you just hit the open strings and it's oh.
Nothing can sound bad. Really.
Yeah, really. It's awesome.
Except that I broke the D string on my guitar, I think maybe 4 months ago, and I have yet to replace it.
Oh,
so
that's brutal.
If you look on my Instagram, any guitar video I've posted, there's no string.
You don't even need that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, there's some strings, if I ever break my high E, I'm
who needed
it's
it?
a repeat. I'm I don't need it. It's fine.
Yeah, abolish the high E string in the new year.
Yeah, for real. That's the movement I'm on.
Bad way to end this. Well, thank
sorry.
you so much for being here.
I feel I have to say something else.
What's your final statement?
The
closing remarks?
high E string is cool and it serves a practical purpose. Surely. Have I found that purpose?
Not yet. But we're willing to look.
And it if it's isn't it about the journey and not the destination?
That's what I'm always saying here. No one's listening.
And I've always said that.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to hear your EP.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been so sweet and fun. I love a little girl talk.
Girl talk.
It's so good.
All right. Well, once again, this is Chef's Choice. I'm Abby, and I'm joined by Hana Eid.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, watching, and listening, and hanging out.
And all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.